the GOATs, right? How you gonna sit there and tell me Steph is not in that conversation?
I said that before.
You get what I'm saying? You can't sit there and tell me.
I said that and people clown me.
In Steph's eyes, right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know. It probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me.
Steps back, crossover, fires away. Wow! Another three! James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble, layup, off the glass. Shot clock winding down. Curry's gonna have to put it up, launches it up, shot clock. Oh, he knocks it down!
He's not gonna put Bron over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate.
There's really no debate here. By a country mile, it's Steph Curry. What he pulled off over nearly 10 years isn't just impressive, it's straight up unmatched in modern basketball history. Steph didn't just play the game, he flipped it upside down.
7 to shoot, Curry, deep one, bullseye! Almost lost it out of bounds. Curry cutting, oh my goodness, see Murray at midcourt trying to keep him from getting a catch. Here's Curry, deep triple, it's gone, we're tied again!
You know, in the shot he made to tie towards the end, it's a shot that, only he can make. He changed how basketball is played, built a dynasty from scratch, kept that dynasty alive, and somehow he's still rolling strong as he creeps toward age 38 like it's nothing. And here's where people stay sleeping. Steph Curry's so-called longevity is wildly underrated compared to how fans hype Kevin Durant or LeBron James nonstop.
Crossing over, driving in, clinging on his hips, circles to the corner, space, and fires a three. Hit another one! He's hit 3 in a row.
Did you see what happened, though, on that?
Curry, deep one, bullseye! Almost lost it out of bounds. Curry cutting. Oh, my goodness.
See Murray at midcourt trying to keep from getting a catch. Here's Curry, deep triple. It's good! We're tied again!
In the shot he made to tie towards the end, it's a shot that,
Normal. Steph is averaging 28.5 points a game, shooting 47% from the field, nearly 39% from three, and money from the line, like always. He's already dropped 40-plus 3 different times this year.
Apparently, Durant requested a trade from the Nets.
Today, topping out at 49 points, like it's just another night at the office. And context matters heavy here. Once you dig into NBA history and look at 40-point games after turning 30, only Steph and MJ sit at the top.
This stuff is hard, and you got to stay together if you got the guts, and you don't find the first door and run out of it.
Tied for the most ever at 44. That alone tells you how criminally underrated Steph's longevity really is. Now look at the Warriors in 2026. Let's keep it real. Steph Curry is the one and only bright spot right now. Outside of him, there's not much moving fans out of their seats. And despite carrying the entire franchise on his back, what doesn't Steph do? He doesn't complain. He doesn't sprint to the media. He doesn't beg for help or push narratives every other week. Steph literally clocks in, clocks out, does his job, and leads like a true professional. No noise, no drama, just work. Plenty of NBA greats and legends had the stats, the titles, the talent, all that. But what they didn't have...
To the corner, space... Fires a three, hit another one. He's hit 3 in a row.
Did you see what happened on that play?
He started rough. The Warriors were down bad. Injuries everywhere, roster shaky. But he didn't quit, didn't team hop, didn't fold like so many stars would have done. And here's a legacy fact people hate to bring up. The Warriors were a straight basketball wasteland before Steph. From 1995 to 2009, their win percentage sat at 37.6%, third worst in the entire NBA. Only the Clippers and the Vancouver-era Grizzlies were worse, and one of those teams had to move cities. And that's the point people keep dodging. If you rewind to playoff wins from 1995 to 2009, the numbers tell a wild story, right? Think about what Steph probably, it probably sits from, it's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me, right? Like, he's not going to put Bron over himself. See, but he has every legitimate argument. And I ask a question to sit there. The Wizards had 8 wins, the Clippers had 7, the Warriors had 5, second lowest, and the Grizzlies had 0. You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years? If you told anyone back in 2009 that the Warriors would become the team of the 2000s, people would laugh in your face and think you completely lost it. Curry against Horford gets past him inside off the glass again. Fakes, fires, three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry from downtown, a 15-point lead. So let's pause that clip real quick. Guys like Melo and Shaq giving Steph his props, I respect it. But when they say stuff stuff like Steph is top 5 all time or top 3 ever, that used to sound like a stretch to me. Back then, I saw Steph as elite, special, borderline top 10, but not Mount Rushmore, not top 3, not that level yet. Fast forward to 2026, and yeah, I'm changing my tune. But to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship. And the reason is simple. Steph stayed put. He didn't bail, didn't fold, didn't run when things got ugly. He built the team, held it together, maintained the culture, and carried it with dignity until the very end. When it comes to all-time rankings, stuff like building a dynasty and keeping it alive matters a lot. And when you look around, plenty of legends tried and failed. Melo in New York tried to build something and fell way short. Shaq in Orlando got close, reached the finals, then bounced. Even some of the most dominant players ever couldn't pull off what Steph did, not even once. Now, rewind to 2020, because people love to skip this part. Steph's supporting cast was rough. The Warriors went 15-50, dead last in the league. The future looked cooked. The next year, Steph comes back healthy, drags them to 39 wins, and yeah, they missed the playoffs, but that so-called dynasty was barely breathing at that point. Then boom, fast forward to 2022, Golden State wins the championship. Nobody saw that coming. That team was supposed to be done, finished, washed. Instead, Steph carried them to one last title on what many thought were their final legs. And let's be real, that fourth championship shut a lot of people up. When you talk about Steph's individual legacy, that 2022 ring is his most valuable by a country mile. But it wasn't just about Steph. It mattered for the Warriors too, because Steph didn't dip after 2019 when the media said the dynasty was over. They said once KD left, it was done, finished, clipped. Most NBA stars would have cut bait, linked up with another superstar, and called it a day. Look at Steph's peers. That's the norm. LeBron James switched teams 4 times. Kevin Durant did it 4 times. James Harden bounced 5 times. Kawhi too. That's just how this era moves. And yeah, people love comparing Steph to Kobe, Magic, and Duncan, and that's fair. But what really hits different is comparing Steph to his own era. That's where the gap gets loud. What makes all this hit even harder is that Steph's peers did the complete opposite. While everyone else was chasing rings, hopping teams, and hunting shortcuts to championships, Steph Curry stayed put. He's the last real OG superstar from this era who never ran when things got uncomfortable. And there's one more piece people love to skip over: longevity. Aging like fine wine isn't just about putting up numbers. Plenty of players in their 30s still get stats, still look solid, but the accomplishments dry up fast. Steph? Different story entirely. When you compare Steph in his 30s to his 20s, it's wild how close, I would, or even better, the resume looks. In his 30s alone, he's won championships, finals MVPs, stacked all NBA selections, and grabbed scoring titles. That's not just surviving league career, that's dominating it. Most stars peak early and coast later. Steph flipped that script. His 30s weren't a decline phase, they were a second prime. And when you stack it all together, peak performance, elite longevity, building a dynasty, and then keeping it alive, that legacy is going to age insanely well. On top of that, his team, his franchise, and his play style straight up defined basketball over the past decade. The spacing, the shooting, the movement, the entire league copied it. Steph Curry didn't just play in this era, he shaped it.